Remember, the videos I'm doing are not just for people in the United States. It's for people worldwide. The area you're looking at is called Westlake. It is in Hanoi, Vietnam. I've been in Vietnam for almost 2 months, and I've visited Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon, Nha Trang, which is a beach town, and Hanoi, which is the capital of Vietnam. Vietnam is not racist or prejudiced. It has a lot of honest, hardworking people. I have said that I felt like I was the only Black American in the whole country. Considering I did not see another Black American, I think I was the only Black American in the whole country. For the Vietnam people, for the following, I am talking about Black men and not Black women. Black women are not only another planet, they are another universe. Black men are different from Africans, which are different than Black European men. Africans are standoffish because they are used to people trying to scam them in Africa. This is why they do not seem friendly. Black Europeans, I believe, think they are better than everyone else. This is until a Black American shows up, and this reminds them that they are not. Black American men know we are not better than everyone else. In the United States, there are always someone with more money, a bigger house, and all that stuff. But none of this makes you a better person than me. It only means you have more money. Plus, rich guys in America hang out with poor guys all the time. It usually happens when you two went to high school together, and later in life, you take different paths. And if you were friends in high school, you'll probably remain friends afterwards. For most men, this creates the dynamics of not looking down on men who do not have as much money. If you look down on men who do not have as much money, you are also looking down on some of the friends you have known since childhood. You could also be looking down on your male cousins, your brothers, or your uncles. All of these people in your lives are good people. So money does not make a person, it only means you have more money than me. Because of this, Black American men are easy to talk to. If you talk to us, we'll be happy to talk to you, unless we have something that we have to do or are exhausted. And do not be afraid to take our picture and all that stuff. We know you are probably just curious. We understand that you probably have only seen a Black person that's on television. I discovered that there are many Europeans who have only seen a Black American that's also on television. So if you encounter a Black person in your country and we are smiling and we say hello, it usually means that he is an American. And because of this, we will be happy to talk to you and answer any questions you have. Like I said earlier, I have been in Vietnam for almost 2 months. I did not keep to the tourist area. I tried to venture out. In this video, I'm going to tell you about my experiences. This video does not have me interviewing women, only telling you my encounters and observations. As I said earlier, this is the Westlake area of Hanoi. This is where you have a lot of young professionals. You have these areas in every major city worldwide. The women here want what they see in advertisements, in marketing, and on television. So with these women, most of them will reject a foreign man. And foreign men are not in these images. Thus, we do not fit most of these women's requirements for a partner or husband. That's okay. Everyone deserves to be happy. And these women need to find a man that will make them happy. All of us men from Western Europe, the United States, and the Americas know that when you go for flash and not for substance, how it will all end. This area is called Union Square and the riverfront. It is in Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon. This is a tourist area, so now I'm talking about girls who work in the tourist area. Those girls are a hit and a miss. Some will let you know if they're interested, but many will let you know that they are not. I think it's because they get hit on by a lot of foreign men. Plus they know that many of us, foreigners, are only here for a short time. I noticed that when I was in Ho Chi Minh City, and after many of the women saw that I was still there after 2 weeks, they started to become more friendly. It doesn't mean that they were interested in me, but you have to understand that many women in Vietnam do not date for fun, they date for marriage. This means you have to be living in Vietnam for the long term. It can also mean that many of them have boyfriends. I know that some of the young men who were working had wedding rings. So getting married at a young age in Vietnam might be the norm. I know that many young women who are looking for boyfriends are also looking for a serious relationship. So in general, Vietnam is not like the United States. in the United States, Western Europe, and Canada, women have their fun until they turn 27 and 30 years old. Then they want to find a husband and settle down. Unless she's a girl you meet at a bar, most Vietnamese women do not play this Western game. Now I'm showing District 7 in Ho Chi Minh City. If you're going to live in a place, you are not going to be living in a tourist area. So you got to see what's out there, other neighborhoods, other places where you might like to live, and what it's like to live in a city. The tourist areas are not going to provide this. In these areas, most people do not speak any English, but all I have encountered have been nice and friendly people. And I found that with a smile and some patience, you'll be able to understand them, and they will be able to understand you. I also discovered that if you are a single man, most of these women in these areas are dangerous. Until you get accustomed to the nationality of a woman, or the look of an Asian woman, most are going to be gorgeous and beautiful. And all it takes is one of them to let you know she is interested and treats you nicely. This might result in one day you waking up one morning realizing you have been married for the last 10 years and have 3 kids. Remember, I translate my video into other languages. But what I'm saying in my videos is not only for people in the United States. Let me give you a few examples of why it can be easy for a Vietnamese woman to lock down an American man. Many American men who are rich, poor, black, white, or green with peach spots have been shitted on or treated badly by American women. Let me provide a few examples. Many men in the United States do not date many women simultaneously because we do not have the money to do this. Men in the United States pay for all the dates. When we date a girl in the United States, the man pays for everything. However, when women in the United States are young, and since they pay for nothing, they can and do date many men at the same time. It is called going out and having your fun. Then when a girl turns 27 to 30 years old, is when she starts looking for a man to marry, a husband. By then, she has been with 30 to 100 different men. This is very common in the United States. However, most men of every race in every country worldwide do not want to marry a woman who has been with that many different men. This is the way most men are born. This is universal among men worldwide. Yet, many women in the United States do this anyway, thinking they can lie and trick the man. But what most women do is try to shame men into thinking that what he believes is wrong. That it should not matter how many different men she has slept with. It is the man who has a problem if he thinks this way. But most of the time, this does not work because this is how men are built. It is almost impossible to change nature. Let's say you got married and your wife is a stay-at-home mother, which means that you are the person who is working. Your wife does not work, and she stays at home with the children. Some wives will complain that their husband is not doing enough in the home, like cooking and cleaning. So you go to work every day. It takes you 1 to 2 hours to get to work, 1 to 2 hours to get back home. While at the same time, she's been at home the whole day with the kids. Some wives will expect that once you get home, you will cook dinner and help clean the house. To your wife, your job is not that hard, but staying at home with the kids is very difficult. Many women have divorced their husbands over this. In some parts of the United States, after the divorce, she gets the house, the car, and half of your income. Let's say the wife cheats on you or has an affair. Plus, she gets pregnant by the other man. You divorce her, yet after the divorce, you discover that you have to pay child support for a child that is not biologically yours. According to the law, in many parts of the United States, where the child is born made during the marriage, the husband is responsible for that child even if he's not the biological father. Last example, 54% of black men in the United States have middle-class incomes, have never been married, and are childless. However, over 80% of black women are single mothers, and most have children out of wedlock, or have never been married when they had the children. For white women, I think it's about 6%. Yes, the United States has a big issue when it comes to single mothers. And many or most single mothers have 3 kids by 3 different men. And most of these men are no good bums. Yet, these men were the fun men, but had no real ambition for a better life. So when a United States man turns 30, most of the women he encounters are single mothers. And now these single mothers want a good man with a good job to come along and take care of her and her 3 kids by 3 different men. We men respond with, hell no. I know that many men from the United States go to the Philippines and Thailand and marry single mothers all the time. These women become single mothers under a different situation. So, men from the United States have compassion and understanding for these women. Plus, in some parts of the United States, all the women have to do is say that you are the father and you have to pay child support. And say you are the father with no proof and you have to pay child support. Men have been trying to get these laws changed, and these laws are not in every part of the United States. And the women who do this are both the ones who are educated and uneducated. Because of the way our laws work, many women do not treat men in the United States with any kind of respect and consideration. Because of this, women overseas can easily lock down a man from the United States. And this is why women overseas are so dangerous to single men. I made the following mistake 2 times in Ho Chi Minh City and once in Hanoi, and this is something you men must watch out for. I went to a place called Highland Coffee. Yes, there are places that are much cheaper to get coffee, but they do not have air conditioning. In the United States, for what we pay for 1 cup of coffee, I can get 2 cups at Highland Coffee. What I did not realize was that most Vietnamese people or men do not go to Highland Coffee 2 days in a row. Plus, I did not realize that spending $250,000 dong can be a lot of money for a Vietnamese person. And I did this 2 days in a row. In the United States, we spend 2,050,000 dong, or $10, on a cup of coffee every day at Starbucks. We get coffee every day before we go to work at Starbucks. It's no big deal, everyone does it. And we might visit the same place every day. This is also no big deal, no one thinks anything of it. However, Vietnam is different. If you visit the same place 2 days in a row, a place like Highland Coffee, and there is a pretty girl that works there, the employees might think you came in because of the girl. 2 nights ago, I went to Highland Coffee, and yes, like most Highland Coffees, this one also had a pretty girl who worked there. After I ordered, she called someone from the back, and it was her brother. He was a nice guy, and he started asking me questions. When we got to the point where I told him I was leaving in a few days and not coming back, he ended the conversation. Then I realized I was being screened or vetted. Before I could ask his sister out on a date, I had to go through him. He had to make sure I was an okay man. He was doing his job and looking out for his sister. We no longer do this in the United States, but I can respect it. Like I already said, women in Vietnam date for marriage and not for fun. And many get married very young. It seems like once they get out of high school, the women are looking for a husband. And this brings me to another type of woman in Vietnam, the hard-working, non-college, educated girl. The one who you see at coffee shops and work in stores. All of the foreign men I talked to who are married to Vietnamese women, every one of them said they met their wives when she was working. Vietnamese women will let you know if they are interested in you. And there are a lot who are interested in me. But I'm not staying in Vietnam. I cannot take the air pollution. The biggest problem with Vietnam women is that if you are planning on going to another country afterwards, you may not make it. So what has saved me from blissful happiness is the air pollution. Plus, her not knowing English and me not knowing Vietnamese helped. I can see it in the future. I might be able to say we were happily married for 10 years until she learned English and I learned Vietnamese. I was told that nice Vietnamese girls do not hang out in bars. This is understandable. If you want to get married, you have to think about what the man you might marry might think about your past behavior. The best time to meet a nice Vietnamese girl are on the weekends at a park or at a coffee shop. But it has to be on a cool day and in the evenings when it is cooler. Vietnamese do not like the sun, skin color and all that stuff. Okay, I'm out.